Salvete omnes, nomen mihi canonicus. Thank you for joining me for the next episode of World's Worst Walkthrough. I am about to start with Heyton's Rest, so I'm going to go and talk to Kaja Bauer-daughter. I swear to Sivries, there's unholy wailing coming from Heyton's family crypt. No one wants to check on it for fear of the Sahuagin and their cronies. But what could they want with Heyton's crypt? Oh dear, why won't anyone go down there and see? Heyton family crypt? Shouldn't you talk to a Heyton about this? My da used to tell me stories of the Heytons. Hundreds of years ago, when the Sahuagin first came, Bjorn Heyton fought him tooth and nail. And when he died, his children fought them. And when they died, their children fought them. Oh, Lars. Lars Heyton was the last of them. And I was... Well, never mind that. He's gone missing. And everyone thinks he's dead. But I know he's still alive. What if this wailing has something to do with it? You have to go and look. Very well. If it'll ease your mind, I'll check out the crypt for you. All right, so let's go. I'm going to go in here. Okay, and this is where you would select your difficulty. If you're doing this free to play, you would need to start on normal. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to do everything on elite. For one big reason, this is going to give you the best idea of where the monsters are, how many there are, things like that. So we're going to do this on elite. I should also be able to handle it. Okay, I'm going to summon my hireling. Okay, and you'll see on the hireling you have a bunch of options here. I won't go through and explain all of them. Most of the time, you're going to want your hireling on aggressive. Okay, I'm going to talk to Jacoby Drexelhand here.
The strange and unsettling echoes that Kaya spoke of. And by the passage leading in, a grim-faced man glares at you.
I haven't seen you before. You're new to Korthos. Well, you should go back up to the village. This crypt is falling apart, and you could trip on some rubble and hurt yourself. The villagers are talking about some strange noises down here, and I'm going to investigate. Let me pass. You're the crypt keeper? Aren't you supposed to be maintaining this place? Ha! Who has time for menial chores with Korthos? Korthos' impending doom. The Sahuagin want to destroy the village, and the only safe people are the ones who join their devourer cult. Oh, that's optimistic. Mark my words, in a month's time, the only people left in Korthos will belong to the cult. We'll see, but now I need to make sure that there are no cultists in the crypt. Let me pass. Fine, don't come crying to me after you trip in the dark and break your neck. There's an awful lot of light in here.
Sarcophagi line the walls, but they're broken open and empty. Where did the bodies go? You notice something strange about the wall to the west. If you search the wall, you may discover more.
Okay, this is one of the really fun things about DDO. There's a dungeon master, and basically she's talking as if, you know, I was the DM and a character had a, passive perception check or something like that detected something. So we're going to do a search.
You found some kind of secret door in the wall. Once you open it, you can reach whatever's behind it.
Okay, now we're gonna go through this way because it's cool. It's a secret passage. You definitely don't have to do this. This is entirely optional. Okay, so
a chest.
Even though we don't have rogue skills, we do have a indication that there is a problem or that there's a trap. So here's how you get through this trap without a rogue. If you have a rogue, the trap box is right there. If you don't have a rogue, you step into the water.
Sprays out of the wall as the gate slams
shut. It
Okay,
just sprays once, and then you get the chest. Okay, I'm going to take everything because we're going to sell. Now, the door ahead slams shut, but I'm not going to go ahead. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go back this way and pick up the quest line kind of in the direction that it was, in the direction that it presents itself. You can go the other way, it's fine, but I don't really see much reason to. We're gonna come down here. There's always two guys that are always right there, and you can't target them yet. But I can hit that guy. Okay, and then once I start attacking him, he becomes targetable.
What were those cultists up to? This bears more investigation.
Okay.
A treasure chest glimmers in the dark passage here.
All right, so I'm not going to take this
Though
out.
rusty, this longsword is still sharp. It's a slashing weapon, perfect for slicing through putrid zombie flesh that would resist puncturing or bludgeoning weapons.
All right, so this is telling us about damage types. I do fire and force damage, so I don't need to worry about it. All right, now for the optional objective, I want to take out this altar first.
A magical crest appears from the destroyed altar. If you take it with you,
Okay, so
it'll be useful later.
I got an optional
Continue to hear cultists about their evil work.
prevent Horace Heyton's remains from being desecrated by undeath. So you can get that optional one of two ways. You can kill the Sahuagin quickly before he can raise the body, or you can destroy the altar. Personally, I find destroying the altar to be the easiest. All right, from here, we're going to pick up this crest of the snake. That's going to be important later. Okay, so, Archer this way, who's just out of my range. This is one of the reasons I like being a warlock. I stay out of harm's way for the most part. Take out this minion.
As you slay these foul cultists,
In this quest,
care to keep your own
the
filth out.
mob placements are pretty constant. Okay, so there's another chest here.
Another treasure chest. Perhaps the cultists brought it here, but it's yours now. This heavy mace is a bludgeoning weapon, ideal for smashing apart skeletons. Their bones are resistant to puncturing or slashing weapons.
Okay. You are probably going to be powerful enough to deal with these monsters with whatever weapon you have. However, there's no harm in trying to optimize your experience. So if you feel like you need a little extra help, go ahead and pick those weapons up.
Another crest drops out as you smash the altar.
Okay, so I smashed that altar.
Altars elsewhere in this crypt.
And you can see over on the right, we got prevent Cragwolf Heyton's remains from being desecrated by undeath. Okay, got another crest. This is a bat. The first one was the snake. These crests and using these crests to open doors and unlock things is a very, very common mechanic in DDO. So getting started very quickly. Okay. You can see on the map, this is where we started. Okay. This was the secret door. We came down here and got this chest. Then we came back because the gate was closed and I didn't want to bother opening it. We came back up here. We went down into this room. This is where we got the first crest. Then we came through here, went in this room, and now here we are. And here is where we're going to use the crests.
Blocks the way, and behind it, another Sahuagin performs unholy rituals at a devourer altar. This barrier appears linked to 3 sockets in the wall. If you find the crests to those sockets, it may allow you passage.
Okay, so I have the snake and I have the bat. So we need to find the octopus socket. Also, over here is the rest shrine and the resurrection shrine. And you can see on the map You back up a little bit. See how they pop up on the map? So if you ever get to a rest shrine and decide you don't need it, it's easy to find going back. I don't need a rest shrine, but that's where it is. Okay, there's always two people up here. An archer and a magic user. I should have cast shield on myself. Okay, these gates here, you can see that's where the chest is. That's where we would have come out, right? So this wraps around here. This third room is going to be exactly like the other two. Come in, target the altar.
When the altar collapses,
destroy the altar instantly. Now, if you have a bow or throwing knives or throwing axes or something like that, you probably aren't going to destroy the altar that quickly. Acolyte of the Skin has a very bottom-heavy damage curve, which is one of the reasons that I like playing an Acolyte of the Skin solo. And so I'm even a little bit more powerful than another type of warlock would be at this level. All right, so we've got a fight prepping in here. I'm going to put in my last crest
in place,
and the altar is my goal. All right, so let's get this quest completed. Let's destroy the altar. Okay, now we can clean up the rest of these enemies. Got another Sahuagin that needs to get gone.
Your bold action saved Korthos and brought the Sahuagin's fell scheme to naught. The treasure chest in the antechamber is now yours.
Okay, so we can collect the treasure. Okay, again, we're going to loot everything. Now, this is a docent. This is for Warforged. These gems, these are just for selling. They serve no other purpose. The gold is money, and then this is guild renown. If you belong to a guild that's not max level, you'll get these guild renown, and that helps improve your guild, improve what your guild has to offer in terms of buffs and other things like that. And it's just a good way to be a part of your organization. Okay, now that we have the quest finished, we could go back to the entrance of the quest. Sometimes the quest has an exit, like the grotto did. But either way, when this says finish, you can just click on finish. The adventure is complete. Do you want to recall now? Yes. Okay, so this put us back out at the entrance to the quest, and you can see she has a check mark, which means that the quest has been completed and we want to get our end reward. So we're going to talk to her again. Perambulans, I was afraid you'd been hurt. Did you look in the crypt? What's in there? The Sahuagin were resurrecting the Heytons, turning their bodies into undead minions. But don't worry, I put a stop to it. Oh, how horrible. But what about... Did you find Lars Heyton? Was he? You didn't find a trace of him down there? So he could still be alive. Oh, Perambulans, you've done me a world of good. All right. So here's our rewards. We can choose the Amulet of Inner Focus. You can see that this equips to the neck. It binds to character on acquire, which means not only can I not trade this with another player, but I can't trade this with another tune on my account. Concentration +1. That concentration is how well you're able to take damage and keep casting a spell, and then will save +1, which is nice. Amulet of the Brute. Curse of Dullness. A -1 penalty to intelligence. Don't need that. Curse of Foolishness. -1 to wisdom. Don't need that. All for a +1 to Constitution. That isn't going to change the math on my hit points. So we're going to take the Amulet of Inner Focus.
Some of the braver villagers tried to stem the Sahuagin
Okay, and you can see that opened up a couple more
led to not
quests.
grievous injuries.
I'm going to
someone with more
find
than
my
just
amulet and
guts.
equip it. And that is Heyton's Rest. Before we move on, I'm going to show you the enhancements tree. So you can see down here that I have these 3 blue bubbles. Okay, and I think I should have gotten one of those bubbles after the grotto, and I didn't do anything with it. These first 4 bubbles mean I have action points to spend on my enhancement trees. Everybody gets their racial tree and at least 3 trees for their enhancements. The kind of exception to that is sorcerers who have 4 trees, but some of them are mutually exclusive, so you can only spend points in a maximum of 3 class trees. All right. So I am going to main as an acolyte of the skin. So I'm going to unset that. Actually, I don't have to do that. Forgot I can drag these. Okay, I can drag those around. Keep forgetting that I can do that. Although I'm not going to use Soul Eater much. You can also, if you can earn these in game, but you can also pay for them. There are so what I'm looking for, universal enhancement trees, these extra trees that you can spend points in. I may spend points in some of those, I may not. Even though I'm going to main Acolyte of the Skin, my first goal is in Tainted Scholar, because I want this ability right here, Blast Shaped Chain. And that's going to take 7 action points, and so I won't get that until about halfway through level 2. So these highlighted are ones that you can spend points in. You have to start with the first one. I never do anything with this, but it does give me Featherfall added to my spell book, which is nice. I'm not going to explain every single thing, but I will explain why I'm picking the ones that I pick. So I am picking Strong Pact, which gives me an extra pact dice. That means that gives me an extra fire spell or fire dice. So warlocks get well, let me show you here. We look at warlock feats. So warlocks get you gain 2d8 Eldritch Blast base damage and 2d6 Eldritch Blast pact dice. So warlocks have base damage, which in my case right now is force damage, and pact dice, which is based on your pact. In this case, I have fiend, which means I do fire damage. So strong pact gives me an extra bump to my fire damage. All right, so my enhancement points are spent, and I am ready for the next quest, which will be in the next episode. I really hope you like this. If there was anything that I missed, if I explained something poorly, please give me feedback in the comments. Let me know if you like this series, and I don't know that I'll get through every single quest in the game. I don't know how to do every single quest in the game. But I am going to do a lot. So if you follow along with this, you'll definitely be able to get your first life character up to level 20. And I'm just going to see where this goes. And it'll probably be the worst. So thank you for joining me. Gratias vobis ago. And I will see you next time for the Storehouse Secret. Ooh. Si waletis, ego waleo, walete.